What's up YouTube? Peace, Hotep, the black man is God. Today I'm making a video about 10 movies that made me cry. Alright, first we're gonna go with Tupac documentary. I'm gonna have a picture of Tupac Resurrection, but I know it wasn't Tupac Resurrection that made me cry. It was some weird, like low budget Tupac documentary that I saw, and just if you just research the life of Tupac, he died at 25. It's a very sad thing. It made me cry. Okay, the next movie that made me cry is Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now I know that's not a movie, but the trailer, and when you see Princess Zelda crying and the music, just listen to that music. It hits you right in the feelings. And I don't know what it was that day, but and even when you play the game, when you step out on that plateau, it's just the emotions just rush up. So yeah, it's not a movie, but it was very cinematic. Okay, the next movie that made me cry has to be Boys in the Hood. When Ricky got shot in the back and everybody was crying, the whole movie is basically just watching kids grow up together. So you kind of feel like you're growing up with them, and like watching him die feels like, watching your brother get shot. It's horrible. That is a sad ass movie. All right, the next movie that made me cry has to be Battle Angel. Not the movie, the anime. Even though I'm not gonna shit on the movie was good, but the anime made me cry. When Yugo died on that fucking, I don't know what the hell that was, trying to get to Zalem, and then it was just like, that movie was very emotional. In that moment, when she was like, Yugo, that made me cry. Okay, the next movie that made me cry was John Henry. John Henry is about this guy, American hero. This guy who was trying to beat this machine that was building railroad tracks. And I don't know, you watch the Disney movie, it's a cartoon movie narrated by I think Denzel Washington or something. And I watched that movie just recently. It's a Disney movie, John Henry, and it made me cry at the end. The Django Unchained. Now this is kind of a cheat because I just cut the movie off, because just watching black people just being brutalized and watching them suffer, I was going to cry, so I couldn't even watch the whole movie. So I just cut it off. Okay, the next movie that made me cry was Avengers Endgame, surprisingly. I did not think that an Avengers movie would make me cry, but it did. Watching Tony Stark's just die like that, it felt real. It looked real, and it just hit you in the feelings. And it just, like, all those movies that you watch, you invested into this character, and you just, to watch him die, saving everybody, was horrible. And that shit made me cry. All right, the next movie that made me cry is Malcolm X. I don't know, man. I was a kid watching that movie, and just watching him get assassinated in front of his family, and that shit was horrible. That movie just made me cry. I could not. Every time I watch that movie now, I just cut it off at the end before he gets killed, because I still can't watch that man get killed, because he was just such an inspiration to me, and just to watch him die like that, it's just horrible. All right, the next movie that made me cry is kind of like a 2-for-1, because it's Black Panther. So, because I also watched the Black Panthers, the actual Black Panthers, like the Revolutionary American, like in the 70s Black Panthers. I watched that movie, and that kind of hit me in the feelings. But the actual Disney movie about the character T'Challa, Black Panther, made me cry. And what made me cry about that movie was the death of Killmonger, because it really felt like they took me, like somebody's been walking around following me, and they put me in a movie, and then they killed me. So it was just like, I just couldn't take that. And the number one movie that made me cry is Bambi. That's right. Disney, you have done it again. Disney is on this list a couple of times making me cry. And Bambi has to be the worst because I was so young and watching that, that little deer and his mother just gets murdered. It's just, that just made me cry so hard. Why would you do that to a kid? Why would you put a kid in front of that movie knowing that you're about to show him somebody's mother being murdered? I don't know. That shit was horrible. Anyway, that was the list of the top 10 movies that made me cry. Peace, Hotep, the Black Man is God, and I'm out.